Okay, well, I'll just welcome people in, Karen. So thank you for coming to this session. This is the SEND local offer in Leicestershire, and we're really lucky to have Karen Hall here to present this session for us. So I'll hand over to Karen.
Thank you. So hi everybody. So yeah, my name's Karen and I am the SEND family information worker in Leicestershire. Just a little note, I'm working off my laptop, so I haven't got two screens, so I've got the slides in front of me. I can't see anything else, which is probably a good thing, so it helps my nerves. But the ladies are going to let me know if anybody raises a hand or anything like that. So definitely be plenty of time for questions at the end. Not got to go through too much really. So yeah, okay, let's just. So. It's not death by PowerPoint, don't worry. So, but the background. So, the local offer is the phrase used to describe what is on offer for children and young people and their families with special educational needs and disabilities. It's local authority's statutory duty to provide one, and it's set out in SEND Code of Practice 2014. So, every local authority has one. We have one in Rutland, we have one in City, and everywhere else in the country. We work quite closely with City and Rutland because all our health information has to be sort of the same across the board, but the other parts of our local offers are very different, but I can talk a bit more about that later. So one of the key things that it must be co-produced with parent carers and young people, and it must be collaborative. So the responsibility doesn't just sit with myself. I sit in the Children and Family Wellbeing Service. We have every department who support children with SEND and their families. It sort of has to be collaborative with them, and they have to have ownership over that information as well. Just a little bit of background, it's governed by a multi-agency steering board in Leicestershire, and it reports to the SEND and Inclusion Board, and we have sort of heads of service on that, director level, people from health, the CCG and things. So that's that. So the local offer in Leicestershire. So as we said, every local authority has to have one. It's usually a website, and that's sort of a one-stop shop where all the information is brought together. In Leicestershire, we do have a website, and we have lots of other different elements as well that not everybody's that aware of. So we're really trying to raise awareness of all the different elements that we've got in Leicestershire. And also, we know if you ask a family, they'll probably say, I've never heard of the local offer, but they're probably on our Facebook page or been on our website to look up how to access a statutory assessment for an education, health and care plan. So yeah, it's just the term. It's not very sort of, local offer. It makes perfect sense of what that means. So yeah, it's a bit of a constant cycle of trying to raise awareness and get people aware of what the local offer is and how it can support. So this presentation is going to break down the different elements, and I'll go into some detail. Then I'll have a quick look on our website. I can just share the screen. You can have a little look as well, if we have time, which I'm sure we will. So we have the website. We have our professional resources website. We've got our roadshows in Leicestershire. We have a SEND newsletter. We have a Facebook page, and we've also got an information support directory. So each slide breaks these down into more information, so yeah, don't worry. This is our new flyer that we've created, and I can add that to the meeting invite at the end. It's an e-flyer, so we're working hard in sort of promoting this. We've sent it out to all of the SENCOs in the area or in the county at the moment, so they can sort of share on their school platforms. And it is an interactive one. It doesn't always work. It depends how the schools share it, I think, is what's happening. But when you hover over these, it will take you directly to the right information. So it's not really to be printed, this one. We can, but it works better with the URL. So, and we've developed this. We have still got sort of hard copies that you can have access to of our little postcards, but we thought in this day and age, everything is done on parent mail apps and things, isn't it, with schools and settings and what have you. So yeah, that's our new sort of flyer. Okay, so the website. This is the main port of information, I guess. So it sits on our main Leicestershire County Council website, and it's found under Special Educational Needs and Disabilities. So again, it doesn't sort of scream local offer, and that is because of how our website is built and how things are filed under topics and themes as opposed to names. So boring information, but that's how it works for our digital colleagues. So it does say at the top here that it's known as Leicestershire's local offer, just there, see where my cursor is. And if people search local offer, it will bring them to it. To be honest, that's the main way people use our website. So it has to be co-produced with parent, carers and young people, as I've mentioned. Because of that, it is constantly evolving. So we've just developed this where to start with send section. I'll have a flick through the live site, so this is just a screen grab. But and currently we're really sort of working this education and childcare tile. So I didn't want to do lots of screen grabs because in 6 months' time you might look back and it could look very different, because it's just constantly developing. And I always use the analogy of like when you decorate your house, you sort of work on one bit, do another, and then by the time you've done it all, you're back where you started, and that's that day. You need to update that. So, or you're not quite happy with it. So yeah, it's a bit of a continuous cycle of improvement, shall we say, I think is the term. On our council website, it does search the whole LCC website. So if you're putting in transport, for example, in the search bar, you might get something from highways and transport as opposed to your home to school transport for a special school, for example. So that's just worth noticing because that can be quite frustrating for people. Again, it's how the website's built. We are required to remain compliant. So we have lots of statutory guidelines that we have to meet. And we are inspected on that in our joint area inspection. So our local offer did come up as quite a strength in Leicestershire of our last inspection, so that was great. Hopefully on our re-inspection it's still up there, but yeah. And I've just popped this in because we do receive about 3,500 website hits a month, which is quite a lot really. And it is when we know parents say they've not heard of the local offer, but we think what probably happens is you Google something, it takes you straight there, and it doesn't shout you're on the local offer, so there's work to be done there. But yeah, just to get an idea of how many people are using the pages. So this is our professional resources side. So I'm not sure who we've got on the call today, and with backgrounds and things, but this is more for perhaps if you worked in a setting. So if you worked in a school or a nursery setting, there's lots of information that's put on there to do with sort of forms and processes and things that perhaps parent carers and families aren't really that interested in, or it's all relevant at all. There's some health colleagues, there's some information there about education, health and care plans and the process. It's got a very different look and feel. It looks similar, but it's not as friendly. It's not got the sort of nice interactiveness of the main public facing one. It sort of sits behind it. I'll show you how to access it when we go through the live site, but there is some interesting information on there, so it's always just worth sort of mentioning really. So these are roadshows in Leicestershire. So we do like a locality based model. So the city have a local offer live event, and because it's city location, it's a lot easier to do a central one. Obviously with the makeup of Leicestershire, we're sort of all over the county. We obviously are on hold at the moment because of COVID, but before that we tried to get around to each borough and district about every 2 years. So by the time we've travelled around, it was back to the beginning. Picture tells 1,000 words really, because it's that's at Loughborough Town Hall. Market stall events have lots of services and providers that can support children and families with SEND. We do have universal providers there as well, so our library service often come if they're available, but we have like post-16 providers, we have our care navigation service, Health Watch in the corner, they usually support, and lots of Leicestershire sort of internal departments. Our centre service, Sendias, they're a hot stand, they could always do with 10 staff at these events. The inclusion service I can see there, and different voluntary providers. So we do have some key ones at each event, but because we try and do it locality specific, it's nice to have sort of local provision to that area. Feedback's really good, families really like it. We're going to hopefully get them back up and running next year, early next year, fingers crossed. I'm desperate to get out and about. They're usually just sort of just pop in at your leisure, but we think we perhaps might have a bit of a booking system or sort of hourly slots or something just to manage it a bit better with restrictions and wherever we'll be in the new year, I don't know. But yeah, they're a key part of Leicestershire's local offer. We've ran a couple of recorded Q&A sessions to fill the gap a little bit while these have been on hold. And what we did is set a topic, and we sort of went out on our Facebook page and said, if you've got any questions around this particular area, submit them in. And then we did like an interview style with some professional or practitioners in the relevant field. And then we uploaded that to our local offer. Because the one thing about the roadshows is that families like being able to go and having the sort of questions answered. So we tried to fill that gap a little bit. So yeah, they're the roadshows. So news. So we have a newsletter in Leicestershire as well. And as the strapline is bringing the local offer in Leicestershire to life. So again, it's just trying to have another source of information and opportunity for families to access information like the roadshows, opposed to just the website really. So it's a termly newsletter. We do try and share as much information as we can get from health, as well as all our local authority corporate bits of information. So if there's new autism unit being built at a school or things like that, that will go in there. If we've had changes to our centre service and bits of restructure information, that they sort of go in there. And then we try and get information about, I don't know, perhaps a really inclusive provider in the community that's offering something a bit above and beyond, those sorts of things. So you can sign up to those. I'll show you where our new sign up form is when I've just had a flick through the live site in a moment. We had lots registered to it, but it was quite an historic email list, a lot of sort of failed emails and things, bounce backs and what have you. So we've set up a new form, and we are asking that you can opt in to receive this, but you can also opt in to be contacted about local offer related events. So when we have roadshows, we've got like a list there that we can target, and any other opportunities that might be popping up as the world gets back to some form of normality. So yeah, that's our Send newsletter. And we have a Facebook page in Leicestershire. This is what it looks like. Yeah, we've got over 2,000 followers, widely used. We get a lot of providers really messaging us on the page saying, can you share this for us? So it's really great that people are starting to know that this feature's there, and the audience are parent carers, and they're looking for support for their, for their family. If you follow it, you kind of, it's more, if you're doing it in a professional capacity, you can just follow rather than like, and then nobody can really see that you're interacting with it. I think that's why I've got quite a lot more followers than likes. You can access it off our main local offer landing page on the website, like a feed keep coming up. So I'll show you that as well. So if you're at work and you don't want to open Facebook or whatever, you can see in real time what's been posted. Again, lots of corporate information, but mainly lots of things that are going off in the community really. So like multi-sports activities, family days, all the summer activities, that sort of thing. So I think quite a few other local authorities have it under their family information, but we have it as separately, so it is for an audience for SEND children and their families. So yeah, feel free to give us a follow, a little plug there. And if you've got anything that you think would be relevant that could be shared on the page, then we're always really keen to hear about that, because there's only so much we know or sort of stumble across. So we're nearly there. So in Leicestershire, we've got Information Support Directory. Again, in other local authorities, it was previously known as the FID, Family Information Directory, which is a bit more of a, oh yeah, I know what that is. Ours got merged with our adult services, so it's not to, care homes really. It has lots of leisure services, different bits of information. It's a huge task, and we are trying to continually audit what's on there, but no sooner is something on there than it's out of date again. So I think everybody that's ever worked with directories knows that sort of problem that we have, but it does form part of our local offer. So we do have a lot of SEND services and support in there. You can leave feedback on any of the listings. So if you're getting through to a number and the number now doesn't work or whatever, before we've got round to auditing it, you can let us know. And we get quite a few in like that, and it means we can respond sort of instantly. So yeah, it's just worth people being aware of it, because people don't really know we've got it. We've never done a huge wide sort of publicity campaign on it, which doesn't help. But in Leicestershire, we've also got a Find a School directory, and I will show you that in a moment. Similar to our directory, but it's got all of the schools in the county. We have got city schools on there as well. And part of that, we ensure that we've got a link through to a school send information report, sometimes known as a school's local offer. So if you're supporting a family and they're sort of thinking, oh, my child's going to start in school, I don't know if the local primary school can meet need, or transition into secondary school, every school has to have that information, and we try and make it easy for families by signposting them straight there. So I'll show you that on the live site. When I was a family support worker, I just knew that would have been really helpful if I'd have known that, because they're the sort of conversations that we're having with families all the time. So there our director is. So how you can help, if you will happy to follow us on Facebook, that'd be amazing. Share what we've spoken about today with families that you might work with. As I've said, we know we get a lot of hits on our local offer and lots of interaction with our Facebook page, but we don't always know that families know that that's what it is. So any way that people can help with that or share our flyers would be amazing. Come and support any events we've got, that would be great. If you have any parents or young people that you work with who are sort of quite vocal, into co-production, wanting to help improve services, we're always willing to hear from those people because it's a big part of what we do. If you're happy to sign up for Send News, that'd be great. And then the last little point is, on every page throughout the council website, you can see this help us improve this page option. And it's just a very short drop down, quick form. So if you're stumbling across something and you think that was frustrating, actually, that didn't help me get the answer that I wanted, or the information wasn't quite right, then just pop that, go to our web team, and it comes straight to us or the relevant department. And to be honest, we do make quite a lot of our improvements that way, because we've got hundreds of pages on the website. So although we've got a systematic approach, this doesn't work, and we need to hear from people that are using the page. It makes sense to us because we're sort of embedded in it. But that's again a little plea really. If you stumble across something and get frustrated, or then let us know. That's fab. I've just popped my details on here. So we've got our generic Leicestershire local offer email inbox, but then I'm karen.hall@leicf.gov.uk. So if you've got any more questions or want copies of the slides or anything, I can do that for you. So I'm going to stop for a breather 1 second, and then if it would, I'll just pop my Teams up so I can see everybody, and I'll stop sharing for a sec so you don't see lots of duplicates. If anyone's got any questions, or we can go and have a quick look at the sort of live website, and we can have a play around, and I can show you some of those key things that we've spoken about. So I'm going to have a drink of water while I decide if you've got any questions or not, and then I'll share my screen again if that's okay. I'll take silences now, so I'm going to I'm sorry, I'm still sharing. I thought I'd stopped. I haven't stopped, so I do apologise if you see a double of everything. So okay, so here is our that main landing page that I spoke about. So we've got all the different tiles, which is what these are called here. Let's just start with Facebook, seeing as I've not going to mention that. So if you scroll down, to here you can see like a live feed, and that's everything that we've posted. Everything that we've sort of posting about is on there. So I just think that's quite handy if you've got 5 minutes in between meetings or something and you just want to have a bit of a scroll. Okay, I'm just going to go up. So above there you can see the information for schools and settings, and that takes you to the professional resources part of the site, which we spoke about. Initially it's got like a bit of a black header. It's just a bit more, I don't know, it's not as friendly as it, I suppose, as the main one. So that's there. We have where to start with Send. So this was co-produced with our old parent carer forum. We have a new one in Leicestershire now that's sort of just getting on their way really, and they're involved with our development of the local offer and sit on our steering group. But we had to do a where to start section. So the idea is, well, hopefully it does what it says on the tin really. So what is the local offer? We've got some links to all the different elements of our local offer, and there's our flyer. So I put it on as a web version because that's when it works the best. As you can see, you hover over it and it will take you to the relevant place. So if you ever want access to the flyer, that's where it is. We have a local offer strategy, just some different bits of information. So there's literally lots and lots of pages, so I shan't go through them all.
Karen, can I just interrupt you? Sorry. Raj has said it'd be really helpful to have a copy of the slides if possible.
Yes, of course. So, Liz, what would be, if I attach it to the meeting invite, will people have access to that now they've joined, or what will be best? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, you've just muted, Liz, sorry.
Oh gosh, classic.
Sorry.
No, that was me. It'd probably be better or easier to send it to me and then I send it to them if you're yeah,
and
that's it.
We'll do that, and I'll pop the flyer on as well, so you've got that.
Lovely, thank you.
No problem. So, because I won't go through it all because there is tons of stuff on here, but for example, we've been developing some videos because we know that, especially our young people, that's how they would prefer to have information. So we've got Senko, our SEND Family Support Work, our early years. So we've got a few more to go, but they're sort of stuck with our design team at the moment, who have just been inundated since COVID hit, really. So they're on there, and they talk about what the profession does, where the family might access them, those sorts of things. So they're quite short videos. And then here there's some short or quick links to our directory, our inclusion service, and SENDIAS, because we know, especially inclusion and SENDIAS, they're sort of where a lot of our traffic wants to get to. So trying to make that a bit easier. Okay, so I'll just show you this tile. Again, what's going to happen is when you click on this, hopefully in a couple of months' time, you'll be greeted with more tiles, so it will help with the navigation. So I won't go into too much detail because I hoped it would have been ready by now, but unfortunately. But for example, our specialist teaching service are under here, and they have their landing page, and it's broken down. And if you click on one of them, we'll go with this one. You scroll down, they've got lots of useful resources, which I think is really key and really helpful. Again, I would have loved to have known this when I was doing my sort of face-to-face work. And we are always developing it, so these are quite new to be added anyway, so it is always worth checking back because we add new bits. But so here's some resources on there. And like I say, there's some for all of them, hearing support, vision, support team. We have our education psychology service on there as well, and they've got lots of helpful resources, so just have a good play around, really. And I will just show you, and these are the newest ones that we've put on. So this is extra help for preschool children. So our early years SEND and inclusion service, information about what they do and how they can support the different teams. And if you scroll down, again, some resources. So these are they're called home learning packs. That kind of made me think, oh my gosh, homeschooling, you know, having a bit of trauma from the last 18 months. But they're for they've got lovely signs and symbols, and it's just to help parents with play at home, basically. So not the home learning as we're all conditioned to think about at the moment. So yeah, they're really nice, and they've got lots of step by step. So absolutely lots of information on there on all the different areas, as you can see. So yes, we've also, one more thing I'm going to show you, and then I will nearly shut up. We've got a SEND support in school section, and under there, under this one, we have our it's called an SEN handbook. So I'm just going to click on that. It's a huge document, but this was created to support SENCOs, really, and with the graduated response. So there's lots and lots of information in there about how to support children with SEND, really. It's not on the professional site because we thought it was quite empowering for parents to have. There's a lot about best endeavours and reasonable adjustments and things like that, support from health, identifying needs. So there is a lot of sort of processy stuff for professionals, but that's where that sits, and it's had a lot of downloads, so we know a lot of people are looking at that. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the main landing page so we don't get lost again. So back to the beginning. So yeah, there's all these different tiles. Health will take you to lots of our, we link to the LPT website. I think we've got some health colleagues probably on the call as well. So I'm under the access and specialist health services, again, there's a wealth of information under the drop downs. And because health own the information, we signpost to them because it's their information, it's their specialism. But there's lots of different services and departments there. We have our DCOs, our designated clinical officers. They've done us a nice introduction to who they are and things, and our care navigation service, which is invaluable to families, I know, and there flies on there. So, going to go back to the beginning again. The last bits to show you really are the information support pages. So our road shows are on there. So that's somewhere to keep checking. At the moment, we've just got the live Q&A that I spoke about earlier, because they're sort of in replace of. And usually that's where you will find the up and coming events and, you know, contact details, addresses, that sort of thing. So hopefully they'll be getting, there'll be some information on there again soon. And our newsletter is on here. So under local offer newsletters, if you scroll down, here's a little sign up form, and here are all the newsletters that we've ever done. So you can scroll back to see how things were in 2017 if you so wish. But and we'll due one out in hopefully in October-ish time, hope for the October half term, but it's coming around quick. So yeah, and that's where it will be added. So yeah, please do feel free to do that quick form, and then we can add you to the list and add you to our distribution list when we send them out. So yeah, that's it. Without going through every single link, there's lots there really, but that is it in a nutshell, and hopefully that's the sort of information that might be useful in your lines of work, hopefully. So yes, that's it from me really. If anyone's got any questions, or I'll definitely get the slides over. And when you've got the slides, they've got links as well, so it will take you straight to those different sort of parts of the website that I've just quickly done a whistle-stop tour of. So so yeah, that is the local offer in Leicestershire as it stands at the moment. So, but it is always evolving. I always like to try out new things and what have you. So we did arrange a professionals local offer roadshow. It was for April of 2020, so obviously got cancelled. And that was where families actually weren't going to be invited. And the idea was a lot of our people that have the stalls at our roadshows like the networking. They don't always get time to do that because they're so inundated with talking with families, which is quite right. So we thought it'd be nice that at Bow Manor Hall we're going to have like a networking event, so practitioners can have a chat and see what services are still available or what current remits are and things. Obviously they change so much. So that unfortunately did get cancelled, and hopefully in the not too near future we'll be able to do something similar of a fashion. So yes, that is it. I've said so a lot, so let's do it again.
Oh, thank you very much, Karen. Does anybody have any questions for Karen? I mean, I think it was quite sort of comprehensive, really. It's really, really helpful. Actually, I didn't realise there was so much information there. So, you know, it's great to share with, you know, people involved in this area, all the resources and links and how to, you know, find out about other things. So, yeah, really great. Thank you.
And I do apologise, it's not so much of a sort of, we know our feedback is that it can be quite hard to navigate when you're on the website, and it'd be lovely to do a how-to step by step, but it would just be out of date straight away. And because you get new information all the time, there'll be a new web link, then I'll throw everything off. So that is a real shame, but let's just have a bit of a play around, and you'll know what information you're looking for that's relevant to sort of the support you give families. So yeah, and do always please leave feedback if there's something that you think, oh, that would have been helpful if I could have found this information out. Please do that, and we'll get on it. So, and we'll respond back and let you know what we're doing about it. So,
thank you. That's great. Actually, I sometimes gloss over some of those. Could you help on? You know, was this page all right? I just think, but I appreciate your point that if you're not given any information, you can't change it to make it better, can you? Or whatever is the issue. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So anybody got any questions, observations? And Naomi said thank you. And Roger said thank you. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you for nice feedback, because yeah, we're really stepping out of our comfort zones, aren't we? Doing this to lots. I had 100 yesterday on one that I did. So but I think I was more nervous with smaller numbers. But thank you.
Oh, wow.
I quite like having
again,
one
Sarah
screen.
Jane, really useful.
Yeah, I had poorly children last week, so I would have had a house full last week. So yeah, I'm glad I'm in silence today for a change. So, yeah.
Well, that's something that we've had to sort of accommodate, isn't it? You know, in the past sort of year, 18 months, people they've had to teach their children, you know, during the working day. Some people, it's totally made our lives and work sort of balances go totally awry. And I can imagine people who've got children with additional needs, it could have put a lot of pressure on them, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Overnight, everything just went, didn't it? Like we were saying earlier. So yeah, it's been a challenge for everybody, and definitely more so for others. So yeah, but I really hope going forward things will start to light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully. Shall I start recording now?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, let me just work out how to do that.